slow down the momentum.
Stark off the block. Kubik from the back. Point Nebraska. That's where you're seeing Madi Kubik really grow in her junior season. Another point for Nebraska. Stark with the swing on the overpass. Stark again. Backed up by Evans. Kubik right up the box.
Times in a row, and that's the thing we don't ever talk about, or you don't see on the stat sheet, is the block touch.
Knuckles beats that one into the corner. They served Stark, and Horde got that one over. Ball's almost below her waist. It's Fitzpatrick. She does pack a punch. So does Kubik. And a bite taken out of the block for a Nebraska point.
The outsides right now just going at it, taking some big rips at the ball. Kubik seeing that ball.
3.79 kills per set. Already a two-time first-team All-Big Ten honoree and working on a third season. Kubik, she's having a great match tonight, Salima. She's on fire right now. Jenna Hampton to Akana. And Kubik off the block and down, point Nebraska. Serves to get Nebraska into the red zone. Holland kept alive by Kubik. Great dig by Hampton. Fitzpatrick dug out of the back by Kubik. Batenhorst beats Stark with the kill. Kayla Akana, Nebraska's best serve. This is the rotation that Nebraska wants. Here comes Kubik. And Nebraska takes set 3. And they lead 2-1 in the match. Horde pushed in front of Hames, who got it back over, and the point is still alive. Kubik blasts it through the block.
Really good right now. Seeing the ball well, getting underneath it, giving the ball.
Knuckles went down the line last time. And back to Bolinovic. Overpass mopped up by Kubik.
She's been going line to line here all night. If she has that opportunity in that green light to serve that, I don't know, maybe the next one or two, but.
No sense in pressing the panic button yet then. Horde is blocked. It is 6-2 Nebraska.
Full commit block here in the middle, knowing where this ball's going.
Parker was the subject of one of our At the Net special features. Highly encourage you to check that out on YouTube. Goes into her story a little bit more. There's a point won by Kubik and Nebraska, however.
And back and forth we go. Perfect pass on either side.
And the clarity and the connectivity for Nebraska whenever she's on the floor. Dug by Knuckles. Parker swoops in, over to Stark. She's blocked. Pinball and over by Blossom. Stivrins on the slide. Kubik. Point Nebraska. And in aces last season as a freshman. She is dangerous behind the line. Kubik dug in the back by Bolinovic. And Parker has to swat it over. Stivrins. That was Katie Clark, number 11. Kubik. Batenhorst tools the block and wins the point.
Callie Schwarzenbach and, of course, Lauren Stivrins. There's Cam Cheshlik. And looking for the corner that time. 3 recruits. It is a loaded class for the freshman under John Cook. And if there were any doubters about the future of Nebraska volleyball, I think they've been put to rest over these last 2 weeks. The way that some of these freshmen have played along with their leaders. They're able to keep that one alive. And they get a kill, and it's Madi Kubik, the junior. Years for the Wildcats to have 100 block assists or more when she did that a couple of years ago. And she's come to Rutgers for her final season and has made a nice mark. 6 matches in the Big Ten. They finished the year with a 4-match winning streak, consecutive sweeps of Maryland and Michigan State. Nice dig from Kojadinovic. Balika sets it for Maximova. Dealt with by Hames. And that one drops in for a kill off the deflection. It's another one for Madi Kubik. Being able to spread out the attack is something that she felt very confident in. Battle at the net. Balika keeps it alive. Here's Cheshlik. Dug out by Akana. Rutgers did well to send that back. They'll go back to Kubik, and she is on fire now, starting to pick up heat. All the accolades, All-American out of high school. And a block, and it's Kubik and Stivrins in the middle. A great serving ratio, as they do have. 72 aces to 94 errors coming into today. Big bump set, and allows Krause to take it out of the air. Balika back set for McNamara. That time they're on the same page. Here's Kubik. Nice deep serve. Balika goes for Kojadinovic, who went for the corner, went right at Rodriguez. It was dug out beautifully. Here's Maximova. Near side, how about that power? Kojadinovic dealt with it. Rutgers just keeping the point alive here, but there's another Stivrins slide, and Rutgers defense up to the task here. And that one off the net and just wide. Maximova went for the first row. Balika has to run to track that one down. Kojadinovic just goes for the back row. Nebraska now on the attack yet again. Batenhorst. Rutgers has had the answer for Allie Batenhorst today. They go back to her. She goes soft, and the Scarlet Knights continue to snuff it out. Here's Sam Graver from the back row. Not a whole lot of swings on the air, but Rutgers right now, they need answers. They need options on offense. They'll go back to Kojadinovic, and it's rejected. Here's Kojadinovic. And right now, Rutgers not doing a whole lot offensively, and the barrage keeps coming. It's Kubik again. Has been coming off the bench, but this is a long season. I think the message that John Cook has departed on this team is that, look, it's a long year. Things can change. The starting lineup now might not be the starting lineup in a month from now. And when it comes to postseason experience, Lexi Sun has more of it than almost anybody else in the country. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that storyline continues to develop throughout the season. Women out in that selection of 5 hitters. 3 were picked to feature prominently in the starting lineup. That's a good thing about competition. They continue to push their teammates day in and day out in practice, John Cook and some of the players have said. Kojadinovic. And there's Knuckles to deal with it. Rodriguez might have gotten away with a carry there, but it's put away by Kubik yet again. Nebraska in pole position to take a 2-0 lead. Middle set, and it's easily flushed home by Callie Schwarzenbach. A whole ton of set points here. McNamara. And that'll do it, another block. 5th of the match for the number 10 team in the country. A 25-9 dominant second set showing. We could go to Megan Vernon, who slides right. Went for Knuckles, who digs it out. Here's Kubik again. And another kill. Vernon again, that time dealt with. Good reactions by Cheshlik to get to it. Now Maximova. And there's Kubik flying through. 9 kills for Madi Kubik. Last 5, she's at 19, 10, 11, 15, and 19. And another. And there you go. There's the streak continuing. And the fact that they have gotten everything they had hoped for out of the freshmen, Krause and Batenhorst. I think you really got to like your chances if you're the Husker faithful. And there's Kubik again.
That's one hit to the other corner. That one landed just inside. There's the serve. Lands just inside the line. Always so well placed with the kills there. Gross and Grace Danziger coming in for the Spartans. A high-powered kill there for Emily Londot. Big Ten Conference play in full swing at the Jennison Fieldhouse. Serve from Michigan State. Point to Ohio State off the libero. Serve, Balingembe, no! Error on the reception there. That'll make it 26-24. Cavengere leading Michigan State, or co-leading, I should say, in terms of kills. 5-5-5 for Cavengere, Franklin, and Max Brown, although that is going to change in just a moment. Gabby Gonzalez, MVP of the VCU Invitational All-Tournament team. Pedraza and Rader also making that list. I didn't know these invitationals made those lists. Oh, just barely bounced back up by Londot. That one lands square in the middle. No one dives for it. Perhaps a miscommunication there for the Spartans. Perhaps they thought it was just out of all their reach. Just in for Ohio State. That'll tie it back up at 15. Not quite on the floor. Hit up by the libero. And through for Ohio State. Still leads Ohio State in kills. Put up by Moore there. Point to Ohio State. Here's the serve. Oh, not quite down. Kylie Moore saves it for the Buckeyes there. Point to Ohio State, 26-25. Cullen with the serve, I believe. Put up by Ohio State. Against the net. The point will go to Ohio State. 27-26. Here we go again. Just under Cecily Max Brown. And tapped by Danziger on Michigan State. That'll make it 4-3 Ohio State. Mac Pedraza in with the serve. And another point to Ohio State, who will take back the lead, 8-7. Gonzalez and Erica Davis there with the block. Big block against the net, but the ball is still alive. Another one lands inside. Ohio State really killing it with the blocks there. Commanding 10 kills for her. But won't get the ace this time. Edmonds puts it up into the fans. And that'll make it 13-12 Ohio State. Edmonds under a lot of noticeable pressure tonight, unfortunately. A lot of big critical plays involving her there. and the Monks hits it, and it's blocked. I don't know what the tiebreaker rules are in the standings there, but Ohio State could technically move ahead. There's the 22-17 serve. Blocked, but Edmonds keeps it alive. Big hit. Point Ohio State, 23 now. And that'll be the match point. Here it comes. The serve by libero Kylie Moore to close this out for the Buckeyes. We'll see. That one goes out, and that will do it for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That final set, 25-18.
Murray to serve. Murray out of system. There's that pipe set I was talking about. And Londot. And her power is so good. You toss that ball high out in front of her, and it's just a visual that a lot of receivers don't see. Pertovsky with a good touch on that block, but Londot beats her by going high and hard. To pay attention to their pen blockers, and it leaves that Bick in the middle of the court open and defended by one blocker. Merzik, dug by Pedraza. It's a great strategy by the Wolverines. If they're in trouble, knock it to one. Free ball for the Wolverines. Slide, Jess Robinson, dug by Pedraza again. And Londot with a nice high swing off the hands. Paige Jones just couldn't quite get there because of a slew of Buckeye receiving errors. So they continue to pepper Grunzy. Grunzy responds. Londot on the D ball and gets a touch. Running a little bit of a Bick or a 40 or an inside D ball, however you want to call it. As Pedraza's lazy serve gets easily passed, and Davis sloves that ball over. Merzik. Londot. Tools Paige Jones. A deep six defender can't get it. Murr on Grant. And Scotty Johnson tries to handle that tight pass there, but set it over the net. Rotation 6, so they've got 2 attackers front row. Buckeyes with 3. Londot gets the kill even though she's out of rhythm. And if you guys, again, see that little hiccup in her approach, her fun fact is that one half of the volleyball court is 900 square feet, which is the exact size of a helicopter landing pad. So if you can't figure out how to get that ball on the court, you've got some issues. Murray with a good dig. Merzik chops over the block, dug by Gonzalez. Back to Londot, tools off Merzik, and the Bucks are rolling now. Being put in some tough situations, so watch Murray keep that ball on Murray, and again an out of system ball. And Londot and Rader with the block on Merzik. 2014, a little off balance there as she handles the pass as well. Rader with a nice little 31. The second set victory. Puts it on Merzik. Merzik passes that ball to Johnson. Pertovsky tips it over. Londot out. And chopped in. Dug by Grant. Pertovsky swung out wide on the Bick. Dug by Murr. And Londot off one leg. 2-2, good swing by Londot. And Londot again to serve. Murray has nailed 2 passes in a row. They go to Grant. And it's gonna have to free ball over. Good opportunity for the Bucks. D-ball. And off Boney and down, Scotty Johnson. Some sort of run here the Wolverines do to get back in it. Put it on Grunzy, which is a smart move. And Grunzy, an opportunity. Score a real point here. Merzik, another opportunity. Johnson turned around. Swing by Pertovsky. Dug by Pedraza. Out of system again. Dug by Jones. Another opportunity. And Murr keeps it alive. These are the opportunities. They got to figure out how to score in these long rallies. And the Buckeyes have just been outlasting, more resilient than the Wolverines tonight as Londot on cross court. As you see, good rhythm there. Nice high off of Rob. And really a nice job staying resilient by the Wolverines. Gruensfelder handles this one. Davis, touched by Boney in the middle. And Londot back. Oh, that ball's got to come up. And you miss. As you can see, Humphrey's still moving back there. That's why she misses that to serve for the Bucks. They lead 17-12. Grant, good pass, serviceable. Jones knocks it over, takes the D ball out. And nice little throw by Riley Rader. And that throw has good serve. Gonzalez handles it. Londot, tip. This is an opportunity. Oh, and Hannah Grant just misread that play.
Here in College Park and on Big Ten Plus, we are about to get this thing rolling. Hoosiers on the return after Maryland serves it, a flip over the net. They go back, Thomas to Sam Sire on the set. Hoosiers return, goes to the side, blocked Rainelle Jones and Maryland the first point.
Looked like it was off the post, I think.
Off the post, yeah. Tough to tell as you saw that Edwards had that one. As she ended up getting it off the antenna, and now another point to the Terrapins, and they're off to a hot start.
And they've blocked her twice so far, so Indiana might have to adjust a little bit.
On the set, they go to the side. Kaylee Thomas under it. Sydney Dowler goes for Jones. A nice play, and no one will be able to keep that one in the air. On the return, they get it toward the side. Another block from Rainelle Jones and Sam Sire on the side.
And Sire combining to block every single Hoosier spike so far.
So back with it we go. Bump set spike, get blocked. Rainelle Jones again. Time in the game, and Michael, we were just talking during the break about how her presence impacts this team, as at least it did in that first set. On the return, great work by Maryland to keep that ball alive. Back it goes, blocked by Sam Sire. We go back to the other side. Edwards, a block party in the front. Rainelle Jones there to knock it down.
And she's been touted as the player to be replacing Erica Pritchard, the former outside hitter who transferred to Penn State in her grad year. She couldn't be filling that role any better on that right side, excuse me, the left side for the Terps this year so far.
This time it goes to the middle where Rainelle Jones does her thing.
But you don't necessarily need power all the time, and she could switch it up and keep the Indiana backline on their toes.
The sophomore's come a long way to be a Terp. She comes from Redondo Beach, California. And she's been a key part of this Terps team in her first 2 seasons here. Oh, Rainelle Jones, you like that? Spikes that straight down.
Boy, what power from Rainelle Jones.
Here we go, flipped, Thomas a dive. They're gonna work it back to the outside. Chasing it toward her own bench is Armstrong. Spike from deep. They get it back. Multiple Hoosiers hit it, and Sarame runs all the way back trying to save it, but runs out of room, and it's a 10-point lead.
Jones in the middle doing the blocking, but she's getting involved on every single side of the ball tonight.
Lead of the day. Here we go. Set up for Edwards. Layla Ricks in the air for Sam Sire. Hoosiers handling it. Back it goes to Edwards. Bump toward Dowler, looking toward the middle. Here we go to the side. Knocked down, and Maryland keeps on rolling. Thomas to Dowler, and they're going to get this to Ricks in the corner. It deflects. It's hit two Hoosiers here on the side. Back we go. Dowler going for Rainelle Jones, who interrupts, trying to knock it down, and she does. Point. Here we go. Hammering the service, Edwards. Rainelle Jones straight down. She climbs up with one hand and knocks that ball down. Keep the point, 4-3. First lead of the second set. Sam Sire serve returned on the far side. Indiana blocked. Mechiporica. Thomas gonna bump it. Sam Sire in the middle. Here we go again. Blocked. Rainelle Jones once again.
The front line. Just look at the timing. They don't allow anything in between them. Ricks shifts her hands.
Layla Ricks. Ball deflected, chasing it back, getting up there. Gonna set it for Saris, and Rainelle Jones once again.
Just keep on doing it, up and down.
So back we go, Sam Sire, blocked Thomas, chasing it back. Indiana keeps it up, and that's a point for the Terrapins. Unable to get that one in play. Cameron Hayworth on the serve. Left-handed serve right into the net. And the Terps cut that lead in half.
And that's the downside of that high toss with the spin. If it goes over, it's killer. She's usually the one who's getting all the kills, but it's the Rainelle.
Get that point, it's 1-1, Sam Sire on the serve. Set up here to the side, Saris, and blocked up front, but not able to get that cleanly. So Rainelle Jones and Layla Ricks get the block assist off the attack error from Madi Saris. And back we go to the other side, blocked! Rainelle Jones, yet again, making double-figure blocks for her today. Indiana coming out of the gates nicely here in this third set. Just above the net it goes. Gets it to Rainelle Jones. Back we go. In the air. Right over Jones again. And down it will go. Maryland with the point. Back to the side. Blocked! Sam Sire standing tall and knocking that ball down. Hannah Thompson.
That's an important side out to keep Indiana from going to set point. Let's see what they can do.
Hannah Thompson has this serve.
Bit of an absence. Rainelle Jones announces her return to the game, sending it to 2 more points. Side out Maryland, big one to keep this third set alive.
All right, here we go on Volleyball night in Ann Arbor, second edition of Michigan and Minnesota this year. And a middle set to get us started with Jess Robinson. And both middles getting involved. That was a key for both coaches, with Ellie Hughesman getting the first one off for Minnesota. Melanie Schaffmaster kept that alive, then Samedy tracked it down, and Minnesota plays on. Back row attack from Jones is turned away by Hughesman. Active hands for Landfair, and what a rally we've got going on our opening point. Schaffmaster for Samedy, chipping the block, and Kendall Murray can't handle it. And a long first point of the night ends with a Samedy kill.
Good save from Samedy, and then what else? She finished
for the third straight weekend. And looking like her freshman self again. She got that swing off. Samedy goes down the line and pushes it past the block.
her and still finds a way to score, and that's one thing that Samedy does so well.
At Wisconsin had just 7 digs, just not a ton of balls hitting her direction. It wasn't that she wasn't getting to them, just not a lot of chances. There's Samedy. That's tough to dig 10 times out of 10.
Makes it a point to turn her entire body around, face Samedy. You know the ball's going to her.
And about half a decade, Connor Onion, Emily Eman with you for the start of set number 2. And Jess Robinson gets off a good swing that Schaffmaster digs. And that ball is down to the floor, 2 in a row for Minnesota.
All Michigan in set 1, and they're firing from every single place. Defensively, they're just rocking it right now. Offensively, they're getting their middles involved, opening things up for those outsides, and just doing a really good job all around.
And 3 in a row for Stephanie Samedy in Minnesota. Stay tied with Penn State, stay within a game of Nebraska. And that ball pummeled by Stephanie Samedy. 4 out of the first 5 for Minnesota in set 2.
Stephanie Samedy, and that's what she's good at. Does such a good job at any place in the court.
We joined the national audience from that Penn State-Nebraska match, and Minnesota's turned it up in a big way. 12-point set 1 win for Michigan, and 6 of the first 7 to the Gophers in set 2. Jenna Wennis has been active in set 2, and she's got another kill. Push out to the pin for Samedy. Kendall Murray in there, and then shanked by Jones. The Michigan head coach, because she wasn't at full go. A little bit of soreness last week. Wasn't jumping as high as she normally does, and still had a big match against Iowa. Had a 31-kill match against Duke. That set the table for what's to come the last couple of weeks. There's Merzik again, into the strong hands of Samedy. There's Jones, and Samedy slides to the middle to get that block.
His hands are over that net, just a high flyer.
Since that swap at middle, she's hitting almost 500. She's blocking at a high level. Jess Robinson taking to that new spot with Boney well. Lennis got blocked again. Robinson coming over one more time. And a reload for Johnson and Michigan. Bertovsky turned away. Samedy across, and it blisters past Johnson.
Between that blocker, she sees they're just a little bit off, one-on-one situation. A lot of times they'll point to that libero and say, you know, you did that for me. So it really gets the offense firing.
Samedy, how about that clever shot? Humphrey getting the big celebration from the Michigan side. Samedy destroys it.
We talk about how hard Samedy can hit from the front row. Even more time to just unload on the ball. They get her on this big set, so a middle.
10 kills for her tonight. 8 out of the last 10 matches for Michigan. She's had 10 plus. Went to started the approach, then stopped. Jones in the back. And coverage comes. Merzik was a part of it. And Samedy through two hands.
Out of those holes.
That was maybe the thing that Mark Rosen, Michigan's head coach, was most impressed with when turning on the tape with Minnesota. Even going back a couple of years, it's their ability to come back.
Stephanie Samedy doing such a good job for Minnesota, finishing this one to tie it up in this third set.
Be tied at 4, set 5. Myers got that through. Wenis winds up. Paige Jones nearly. Coverage from Miyabe. Then Samedy crushes one.
In front of her, so she has a lot of momentum coming up and just ability to unload on that ball and send it back to that corner.
There's Cullen with the serve. That could be a big kill. This one goes way out of the way into the cheerleaders, knocking over the banister. Given that attack error and that recent overturning, will now serve. There it is. Samedy puts it up. McGraw puts it back over the net. Blocked by Minnesota to spice things up a bit. They can't get the block there, but they do get it back to McGraw. And into the gap for an 18th point. Samedy. Point to Minnesota. Starting to get the ball back, 19-16. There's the serve from Edmonds. Blocked back over the net by Monks. Tried for it again, but no block this time. They're going to have to play it. Just over the net, lands next to Samedy. Schaffmaster getting the kill there as Miyabe subs in. Serve. Hit just over the net. Edmonds with a dive. But a strong kill to give Minnesota their 21st point. 2 more to be precise. And Monks hits it into the stands. I'm not even going to delve into the mechanics of that, as the Spartans have it 4-2. They have to dodge things, but if you can dodge a volleyball, you can dodge a ball. Denied there. Sarah Franklin nearly catches the ball during that play. And the scoreboard shows blurred lines for a second there. I don't know how he got away with that one. Minnesota will take the points, 15-14. And there's a big Minnesota kill. Trying to jostle back control of this game. Would have been a nice kill had it not landed out of bounds. McGraw to Max Brown. Franklin. Tipped over, can they get it? Edmonds is in time with the dive, but it lands out for the set point. Minnesota with a 2-1 advantage in sets. Spartans currently leading the fourth set 9-6. Ball sort of spun out of her hands like that. Kill goes to Cecily Max Brown on the 15-10. Monk serves. Now that spin was handled well, up in the air. And down for Minnesota, 15-11. And there it is, another point to Minnesota. Here's the 17-all serve. Service ace.
Blossom again. And Krause with a big swing. In this match. Way over to Parker. And this time Fitzpatrick. Krause. What an angle on that shot.
Slow down the momentum.
Stark off the block. Kubik from the back. Point Nebraska. Stark with the swing on the overpass. Stark again. Backed up by Evans. Kubik right up the box. We're seeing players like Anna Kate Fitzpatrick and Angelina Stark really step into that role. Dumped over by Blossom.
Watch Penn State over the years. Russ Rose isn't one that he doesn't like to sub a ton. He always has a lot of defensive players, but it's hard for him to go to the bench, and he needed to, and they're stepping up. Tracks that ball just out of bounds. Nice one, guys.
Caffey got it to go. This is Keaton Broughton, the senior from Charleston, West Virginia, serving for Penn State on the floor for the first time tonight. And Nebraska needs 3. Into the corner, kept alive by Hames. Knuckles with the set. Horde through the back. Kayla Akana, Nebraska's best serve. This is the rotation that Nebraska wants. Here comes Kubik. And Nebraska takes set 3. And they lead 2-1 in the match. Horde pushed in front of Hames, who got it back over, and the point is still alive. Kubik blasts it through the block. Last 2 sets have been decided by a total of 5 points. Stark dug by Rodriguez. Stivrins into the middle, no one home.
Just inside the block and the defense.
Yeah, that was in. Over to Kubik. Wow, Hampton got it over. Fitzpatrick blocked. 22-16.
Stivrins getting there in position. Just watch her move. Watch her get there, crossing it.
Rutgers' first ever all Big Ten selection last year. The first team all-setter, Ina Balika, Camilla Cheshlik, and Megan Vernon getting the start. That one drops in for a kill. A lot of questions again being asked of this Nebraska team after they lost 3 matches in a row and fell out of the top 10 in the country for the first time in 4 years. Well, they have answered all those questions and then some, as there's a big kill on the far side from Krause. Dominated Michigan in Stivrins' return. 275-plus consecutive sellouts for Nebraska. As there's a pancake dig and a beautiful one that time from Hames. And Cheshlik with a kill. And a dominant straight set win against Nebraska. That was the valley of the season so far. They're hitting their peak now. The return of Stivrins plus some high-octane offense. This team looks as good as they have in recent years. And Rutgers certainly has a tough test today. Years for the Wildcats to have 100 block assists or more when she did that a couple of years ago. And she's come to Rutgers for her final season and has made a nice mark. Country and across all of NCAA women's athletics. They always travel well. They've got a sea of red on the right side of your screen here in the rack. And they go to Batenhorst, and she's got her first kill. It was one of the first results that turned a lot of heads in the Big Ten for Caitlin Schweihofer's team, who has been at the depths of the conference for the last several years, but now are starting to make some waves. Picked to finish 11th in the conference this year. They're still looking for that first win, and there with the kill is Allie Batenhorst. 6 matches in the Big Ten. They finished the year with a 4-match winning streak, consecutive sweeps of Maryland and Michigan State. Nice dig from Kojadinovic. Balika sets it for Maximova. Dealt with by Hames. And that one drops in for a kill off the deflection. It's another one for Madi Kubik. Being able to spread out the attack is something that she felt very confident in. Battle at the net. Balika keeps it alive. Here's Cheshlik. Dug out by Akana. Rutgers did well to send that back. They'll go back to Kubik, and she is on fire now, starting to pick up heat. The number 10 team in the country, 182 to 115. They go back. The Stivrins slide, something that Nebraska fans miss so dearly for the first couple of months of conference play. Balika bump set. Kojadinovic on the left pin gets denied. Hames and Stivrins with the block. Their offense just at 0.97. It's been the defense that has gotten them to this point. Here's Vernon. No, the decoy Kojadinovic. Dug out by Lindsay Krause. And the Huskers inch 1 point closer to this first set victory. 5th time since 2013 that Nebraska has started 5-0 in the conference, and they've got an ace from Hames. He is a spark plug for this team. Nebraska that time, they go back to Krause. Second chance, down the line and through the alley. Time back to Krause. Little quick set for McNamara. How about that dig that time? Lexi Rodriguez, who has been tremendous. You look at some other standout players, even Whitney Lowenstein, who has contributed. They are making immediate impacts in some of the biggest matches of the year for the Huskers so far. Big time hit from Kubik. Nice dig from Chitty. Now they go far side, and getting it through the block is Lindsay Krause. Hames back set over the top. Krause, another kill. The number 2 overall prospect by PrepVolleyball.com, who is not the same Illinois team that they went to 5 sets with in the Final Four a few years ago, and then they play Iowa on the road before coming back home to play Purdue and Wisconsin. Hames puts that one away. 4th set against Indiana, even though it was an off night from Becca Kojadinovic, who had 9 kills but 9 errors. Stivrins, once again, nearly another ace. Maximova, dug out by Rodriguez. Coming through the middle is Kubik. Sam Graver keeps it alive. The transfer from LaSalle, who played under Caitlin Schweihofer at LaSalle. But just too much in the tank right now from the Huskers. They're starting to pick up stride now on the offensive side. Balika has to run to track that one down. Kojadinovic just goes for the back row. Nebraska now on the attack yet again. Batenhorst Rutgers has had the answer for Allie Batenhorst today. They go back to her. She goes soft, and the Scarlet Knights continue to snuff it out. Here's Sam Graver from the back row. Not a whole lot of swings on the air, but Rutgers right now, they need answers. They need options on offense. They'll go back to Kojadinovic, and it's rejected. Just 0-36 right now. There's Vernon. And a huge swing. Hames thought she had to keep it alive, didn't want to risk it. Now Rutgers on the offensive. Cheshlik, and an error against Nebraska. At times pushed out of the starting lineup a couple of years ago and has not given up on herself and posted some of her best numbers of her career last season as a senior. But Nebraska just keeps coming. Nebraska fans can get used to those. They're going to be said often throughout the next 4 seasons. And they get a block, and it's Stivrins along with Hames. This program, if you're a Nebraska fan of where they're at and where they could be again in another 2 weeks with a bit of a softer schedule, chance to be 9-0 in the conference when they take on Purdue and Wisconsin. And that battle at the net, outsized but not outclassed. Nicklin Hames.
We're seeing players like Anna Kate Fitzpatrick and Angelina Stark really step into that role. Dumped over by Blossom.
Watch Penn State over the years. Russ Rose isn't one that he doesn't like to sub a ton. He always has a lot of defensive players, but it's hard for him to go to the bench, and he needed to, and they're stepping up.
Kayla Akana, Nebraska's best serve. This is the rotation that Nebraska wants. Here comes Kubik. And Nebraska takes set 3. And they lead 2-1 in the match.
Both hitting for such a high percentage on the year so far.
It's been the Kubik and Batenhorst show for Nebraska's offense so far tonight, but Stivrins had a huge kill in the middle for Nebraska near the end of the 3rd set. That was kept alive by Knuckles. What a play in the back row. And Hampton responds in kind. Parker. Blocked. Pushed up by Rodriguez. Caffey. Last touched by Penn State. Minnesota takes a 3-2 lead, number 8 team in the country. When they played it inside Materi Pavilion earlier this season, Michigan took Minnesota to 5 sets. We're expecting a close affair in the rematch tonight. Caffey is blocked by Horde. That's exactly what Penn State needed out of the Russ Rose timeout.
But you still have to give credit to Nebraska. This dig right over.
Last 2 sets have been decided by a total of 5 points. Stark dug by Rodriguez. Stivrins into the middle, no one home. It's a great point, Salima. That was Clark who unloaded on that ball, the TCU transfer. And Batenhorst flicks it over. Back to Clark. Fitzpatrick off the rejection. Clark in the joust wins the point for Penn State.
Changing some things around, getting a bigger block in there, and then having Parker set.
On the tie-up, Hampton gets it over. Penn State all kinds of out of system right now, so too for that matter is Nebraska. A circus-like point.
A lot of questions again being asked of this Nebraska team after they lost 3 matches in a row and fell out of the top 10 in the country for the first time in 4 years. Well, they have answered all those questions and then some, as there's a big kill on the far side from Krause. And a dominant straight set win against Nebraska. That was the valley of the season so far. They're hitting their peak now. The return of Stivrins plus some high-octane offense. This team looks as good as they have in recent years. And Rutgers certainly has a tough test today. 3 recruits. It is a loaded class for the freshman under John Cook. And if there were any doubters about the future of Nebraska volleyball, I think they've been put to rest over these last 2 weeks. The way that some of these freshmen have played along with their leaders. They're able to keep that one alive. And they get a kill, and it's Madi Kubik, the junior. And again, we mentioned it. Some of those freshmen have played a huge role for the Huskers. They've got an early 6-2 lead. Coming from the back row and missing the mark that time was Kenzie Knuckles. Country and across all of NCAA women's athletics, they always travel well. They've got a sea of red on the right side of your screen here in the rack. And they go to Batenhorst, and she's got her first kill. Little in past seasons for Rutgers. Caitlin Schweilfer said, yeah, it's going to be tough. The second year of a rebuild and a new era is always one of the most difficult, because you surprise everybody, and then nobody is surprised by you. They know that Rutgers is scrappy. They know they can fight, and they're doing so here with a kill from Cheshlik. Hopefully give some confidence if you're a Scarlet Knight fan, and they can continue to compete here. First swing of the second set. Nice dig by Chitty. Cheshlik, good reactions to scoop it off the floor after it was blocked back. And that one is airmailed. Time back to Krause. Little quick set for McNamara. How about that dig that time? Lexi Rodriguez, who has been tremendous. Dig yourself an early hole against a team like Nebraska. And another tremendous serve and another ace. Nearly another ace. Maximova, dug out by Rodriguez. Coming through the middle is Kubik. Sam Graver keeps it alive. The transfer from LaSalle, played under Caitlin Schweilhofer at LaSalle. But just too much in the tank right now from the Huskers. They're starting to pick up stride now on the offensive side. Here's Kubik. Nice deep serve. Liga goes for Kojadinovic, who went for the corner, went right at Rodriguez. It was dug out beautifully. Here's Maximova. Near side, how about that power? Kojadinovic dealt with it. Rutgers just keeping the point alive here, but there's another Stiverin slide, and Rutgers defense up to the task here. And that one off the net and just wide. Maximova went for the first row. Yeah, and making their presence known now. Seeing the big hitting that we talk about with this team and that everybody around the country talks about with this team on display. That time they go soft over the top. Maximova there for it. Back set, Kojadinovic, dug out by Kubik at the back row. And they're trying to get Allie Batenhorst going here. Rutgers has had the answer. Now the Stiverin slide. Vernon, yes! Megan Vernon, who has had some really nice performances lately since she has made her way into this rotation. Our best hitters in practice have been Kubik, Batenhorst, and Krause, so they're the ones that are going to play. And John Cook, who is, again, very ruthless in terms of his demeanor. Not one to have a soft side by any stretch of the imagination. Here is Sun, and it's blocked back. Vernon and Kojadinovic. Women out in that selection of 5 hitters. 3 were picked to feature prominently in the starting lineup. That's a good thing about competition. They continue to push their teammates day in and day out in practice, John Cook and some of the players have said. Kojadinovic, and there's Knuckles to deal with it. Rodriguez might have gotten away with a carry there, but it's put away by Kubik yet again. Either it's Stivrins or it is Schwarzenbach. Those are 2 ferocious warrior-like defenders. It's been a really good mix between Maximova, Cheshlik, and Kojadinovic. Rutgers' 3 big outside hitters. And Becca had to stop herself and then play a free ball. And there's Kubik, dug out by Madison Chitty. There's Maximova. A collision, look out. And leaves Gurkovic with the one to receive it. Knuckles with the dig. Kubik comes up short. Last 5, she's at 19, 10, 11, 15, and 19. And another. And there you go. There's the streak continuing. And after that loss to Louisville, they just have a different look to them. Schwarzenbach. Nebraska now hitting just a tick over 500 here in this third set. Then they go on the road to take on Iowa before 2 critical matchups in a span of 4 days at home against Purdue and Wisconsin. And even after that, on the road at Minnesota, Illinois, and Ohio State. So it's going to get real tough at the end of October. They got to make sure they can take advantage of these favorable matchups. Cheshlik still kept alive, and finally Rutgers wears down the Huskers. Here's Vernon, and now a chance for the Huskers to do it on offense. Coming through is Knuckles for the win. Dominant effort from Nebraska. They got better as the match went on. They hit over 250 for the match, but it was their defense. 7 blocks. They hold Rutgers to hitting 042, and they get 10 aces to sweep the Scarlet Knights.